Hello and welcome back to Hoi 4, Equestria War, Old World Blue. Equestria War, Old World Blues. I don't know how that appeared in my mouth. That makes no sense. I'm keeping that in. Anyways, Griffonian Empire, Emperor Grover VI. And we are beginning the Articles of Federation. Whatever. Anyways. The Article of Federation. The Empire is too vast to be unitary, oppressive state. Power must be dispersed from the capital into the numerous regions of the Empire to a reasonable extent. This way, every Griffin will have their voice heard, either by a local governor or by the Emperor himself, no matter how far away from the capital they live. Oh. Looks like no event for that one, but whatever. What did that one give? The Article of Federation. Under the laws known as the Article of Federation, the Griffonian Empire has been decentralized. Each province now enjoys some degree of self-governance under a governor who acts as a relay between local communities and the imperial court. Far from the chaos of the old feudal system, the federated entities are now ruled with a streamlined, modern administration. Sure. The first election. Many in the world cannot believe it to be true. The Empire is preparing to hold its first democratic elections. Not only will the parliament be formed, but local governors will be voted for as well. The conflict between the former liberal republic and the authoritarian empire has come to an end, as they have now become one and the same. Woo! The election. Holding elections for the first time in a country that is used to monarchism and ruled by the nobility is not easy. Doubly so when the country in question spans half a continent. Yeah, no, it spans 2 continents, but sure. It was a massive operation with tens of thousands of government officials getting to work preparing polling booths across the empire in every single city, town, and village. The emperor had hired several Republicans, many of them former prisoners, and some even former members of the MRP, to offer him and his government advice on how to accomplish the task. Thankfully, the Republicans already had plans for a pan-Griffonian election, for it had been their dream for decades. They therefore eagerly helped, and soon enough the plans were proceeding on schedule. While the elections were being prepared, the candidates began to campaign, trying to attract voters to their cause. The election would decide the makeup of the Imperial Parliament, as well as regional assemblies, meaning the campaigning was nationwide. Soon enough, it was clear 2 parties would dominate the vote. The conservative Kaiser Partei, led by Ashwitz Weisner, and the liberal Volksfront Party, Edwin van Cleef. The former did not want radical change and thought that patience was needed, and also advocated for a powerful emperor who would keep the parliament and the courts and law in check. They had many religious members among their ranks too, and hoped to preserve the power of the clergy to some extent. Primarily, they attracted rural voters who were opposed to radical change but were still loyal to His Majesty. The latter had been outlawed organization before legalized by Grover VI, who advocated democratic rule both nationally and regionally, and wished to further limit the powers of the emperor, eventually turning into a ceremonial position. However, they no longer desired a proper republic without a monarch like in the past, either as a gesture of friendship to the emperor or because they didn't want to be outlawed again. Young urbanites and workers were their most loyal voters. Now the day of election has finally arrived, and crowds are filling polling booths, eager to take part in a historic landmark event. Their gargantuous task of counting tens of millions of votes began after the polls were closed, but eventually the results were revealed. We can either stay non-aligned and, you know, get this advisor, or we can become democratic and put the harmonist in charge. And that is what I think we will do. We are the GVF now. Yep, there we are. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And we're gonna replace you with our new guy. No, we're not raiding people for being of the wrong thing. We're chill. Demilitarize the economy. The reunification is over. There's no longer a constant need for thousands of rifles and millions of bullets. The largest conflicts have been fought and the people have suffered long enough from wartime rationing and quotas. The Emperor has officially decreed that the imperial economy must be returned under civilian control as soon as possible. Also, Gabriella's nukes finally finished, so yeah, I don't think the new Emperor really cares about those very much, but Gabriella started those when she was still in power, so I guess the Emperor just decided, go ahead and finish working on them, whatever. Yeah, now we have second level nukes, which we're never gonna use. In fact, we barely have any nuclear reactors. The only nuclear reactors we have are the ones that were built over here by, like, Equestria. We have 4. And they're just slowly building nukes, and we're like, meh, we'll keep these for just in case something weird happens, like all of Zebrica unites and tries to declare war on us or something like that. I don't know. Cap conscription turns or abolish conscription. We're going to completely abolish conscription. We could cap conscription terms. During the Reunification Wars, there was no definite limit on the length of conscription for citizens. While this enabled us to have a large pool of Griffin power to draw from, it did mean that a large portion of the populace was forced to serve in the army for a long time. Now a former limit of 5 years of service shall be universally introduced. But no, we are going to abolish conscription completely. To get enough Griffin power for the Reunification War, the Emperor had no choice but to force its able-bodied citizens to serve in the army. Now there's no need for such oppressive and coercive, and the Emperor's populace is so vast that the volunteers alone could fill the ranks of the army. Therefore, His Majesty has decided to end conscription for now. Woo! No more conscription! Now that's our Emperor. Ensure free trade. Securing strategic resources by limiting exports and trying our best to make our enemies not prosper by refusing to trade with them was reasonable before. Now when our enemies are few and our economy is demilitarizing, it is no longer justified. Emperor Grover VI wishes to tear down all barriers in commerce, which will further boost civilian economy. Yes, but we are going to be trading out like so many resources we need, so I might just immediately put it back on unlimited. I could also immediately move up to early. All the upper ones past that are blocked because of my decisions, but I can move back up to early at any point that I want. Yeah, look at all that. I still need so much more. I have nowhere close to enough to get all the iron I need. And we can't go back down. Oh boy. Well, it's just stopping our ships. . No, we're fine at the moment. You know, that's fine. Caring state. The Empire has caused a tremendous amount of suffering and loss of life with the reunification wars. Now it's time to pay back our moral debt and give back to those who we have taken from. With increased revenues from a revived civilian economy, we can afford to support these less fortunate in our society and make sure all our subjects live better lives. Are we slowly losing fuel? No. Because I wasn't losing fuel with our war economy, I legitimately never stopped our ships just running around over there. Wow. And that gives us a caring state. Grover VI may rule, but he also cares about his subjects. As such, we should stay true to the old Aquilian motto, Nobilis oblige. Prestige entails responsibility. In a time it meant to protect peasants from bandits and wildfires. Now the peasants have become factory workers and clerks, and so the old noble responsibility has become up to provide and care for them. Funds are now flowing towards hospitals, soup kitchens, and charities. Yay! Wow, our guns are starting to finish up. Like, 1025 gun is about to finish in 1022. Like, securing the future. Imperial education during the Regency served two purposes: eradication of illiteracy and indoctrination of our subjects. Neither are no longer needed. An extensive reform of the curriculum will liberalize the arts and sciences. The students who used to protest on the street will be grateful as we allow them to think for themselves. Man. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Times are changing. Things are moving forward. And things are good. That's our Emperor. That's our Kaiser. Man, I really like doing this run after the last one we did. It's a lot more of a... Oh, I'm not even making guns. But just imagine any of the guns we're making at this point. We're just making for import. We don't actually care about, like, making guns for us. We're just selling them to Zebrica. A new empire for a new age. The Emperor has reshaped his empire as he desired and solved the crisis that threatened to end his reign before it had even truly begun. Now there is peace and stability in the Empire once more, and the subjects look forward to a long and prosperous life under the wise guidance of His Majesty. Gotter, Ehrenaten, Grover den Kaiser! And we will lose our student protests. Did I ever read the student protest? As a tentative peace has settled with ourselves ruling over the restored Griffonian Empire, internal strife has spread. Students and many others have taken to the streets for both major and minor cities, demanding reforms to what they consider to be an outdated model of ruling. Demonstrations of the economy and abolishment of conscription. So far the protests are peaceful, but not even a single mistake could end up fragmenting the nation we fought so hard to restore. But we did not make a mistake. Everything went well, and now they have decided we have done right by them, so the out with the old has happened. Benito knocked and entered Grover's office without waiting for a response. He was always permitted to interrupt the Emperor, even in times like these. In his left paw he held a letter, whilst in his right, as usual, was clasped firmly in the hilt of his blade. He bowed ever so slightly as the monarch looked up from his work and smiled. Your Majesty, I'm afraid the time has come for me to retire. Straightforward as ever. He placed the envelope carefully on the table, just in front of the innumerous papers on Grover's desk. He'd lived long enough to see 3 emperors and serve 2 of them, but now it was time for him to settle down and relax with the Emperor Empire and Safe Claws. 86 was by no means ancient for the Diamond Dog, but he wasn't as capable a warrior or leader as he used to be, and the Emperor's bodyguards needed new blood. It was time for him to go. I see. I don't suppose there's anything I can say to keep you here, the young Griffin offered, half in jest and half in earnest. The hound smiled, pushing around the large number of gray hairs on his snout. I'm afraid not, though I might add that I shan't be far away if you need me. Grover smiled, a little reassured by that. Benito was no politician or even a figure of much national importance in any real sense, but the old dog meant a lot to him. He would be surely missed. I'll come and visit, I promise. Benito, and we remove Benito, which is actually one of my main military, like the last one in the main group. So actually, yeah, he was pretty important. But as times change, many things stay the same, but many things very much change. I didn't read the Imperial education system. Each fledgling in the Empire is now mandated by Imperial law to receive an education. Gone are days where the socialists and radical Republicans teach their lies to illiterate peasants and workers. Now all can inform themselves about the benefits of the Empire. But I think now we have completed this glorious Empire into two. Times continue on, times change, but our Empire remains. The Empire changes, but it always remains. But I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And I hope you enjoyed this series, and I hope you stay around for the next one. And as always, peace.